how and why they were able to take control of an entire galaxy. But as it turns out, they're not the only ones who used the Gorman massacre to their advantage. The rebellion also gamble everything to get the word out on what's really happening there, sacrificing their last shred of political influence to light the spark of revolution throughout the entire galaxy. It is a fascinating culmination of multiple storylines that have been building up all season, and in some cases since the beginning of the show itself. But just as important, it's also an absolute emotional roller coaster that's going to leave you feeling exhausted by the ends. I'm not kidding when I say that these episodes made me feel things about a Star Wars project that I haven't felt in 20 years, which is saying a lot for a Scottish guy in his 40s who doesn't experience normal human emotion anymore. And it's pretty interesting now to look back on all the criticism of Andor being too clinical, too intellectualized, too sterile for people to get invested in. Shit man, some of it even came from me, and although I 100% stand by what I said at the time, that assessment inevitably changes once you see a fuller picture of what the show's trying to do. And well, now I have. Those big emotional payoffs that people expect from Star Wars were always coming, but unlike other shows and movies that try to force this stuff out of cheap melodrama, Andor makes you wait for it, it makes you work for it, and it forces you to pay attention, and part of me wonders now if that's why a lot of Star Wars fans have struggled to engage with it. There's no getting around this, it is not as accessible, it's not as fantastical or epic or adventurous as so many other Star Wars projects. There's no Force, no Jedi, no lightsabers, no quirky aliens or moments of levity to lighten the tone, no epic confrontations or grand heroic gestures. Just people with all of our frailties and our strengths, our drives, our desires and our infinite complexities. People with ideals and beliefs they're willing to fight and sacrifice and die for. And all of this brings me back to the question that I asked a couple of weeks ago. What even is Star Wars now? What does it mean to be a Star Wars story? Do you want a cheap and easy dopamine hit of seeing a bunch of stuff you recognise paraded across the screen like the greatest hits of some tired old band that lost their creative spark decades ago? Or do you want something more challenging, complex and mature that takes the setting and the world that you remember and asks, how would this actually work if it was for real? I'm asking this because the answers aren't as easy or obvious as you might think. Like it or not, there's a kind of magical bubble, a mystique around classic Star Wars that's only solidifying the more the original trilogy fades into the mists of time. Or maybe I should say, what this franchise has come to symbolise in people's minds. And the more time that passes, the more shitty projects that explode from Lucasfilm's shattered rectum, the more difficult it becomes for people to accept ideas outside of that bubble. Instead, it becomes easier to segregate real Star Wars into some safe, secure, untouchable comfort zone that nobody can ever mess with, and anything made since about 2005 is some shitty, barely acknowledged piece of fan fiction, something that might carry the Star Wars name but is no more connected to it than an unlicensed bootleg sequel. And therein lies the problem, because if we set such a narrow path for what Star Wars is allowed to be now, then we lose any chance for it to grow or mature or experiment as a brand. We end up ignoring extremely well-made stories that have more effort, time and passion put into them than a dozen seasons of jangling Dave Filoni's slop. And we send the message to Disney that all we really want is to keep rehashing the same tired, predictable, played out themes and ideas over and over again until there's simply nothing left to exploit. And I think maybe that's the real tragedy of a show like Andor. Yeah, it's getting rave reviews and its core fanbase clearly love it, but it's not going to be enough to move the needle. We'll probably never get another Star Wars project of this scope, scale and level of ambition and storytelling maturity ever again. This was it. This was the one chance for Star Wars to grow into something more, to expand beyond lightsabers and space battles and goofy looking aliens. I suspect that chance is just away. Because really, why would any company want to invest hundreds of millions of dollars into a show that nobody fucking watches? So get ready for a lot more low effort, low risk corporate slop, because I think that's the real future for Star Wars at this point. Andor tried, and it tried valiantly, but I don't think it's going to be enough.
I am ready to put on a show!
Anyway, that's all I've got for today. Go away now.
I am born anew.
But starting today, the United States will no longer subsidize the health care of foreign countries, which is what we were doing. We're subsidizing others' health care. Countries where they paid a small fraction of what, for the same drug, that what we pay many, many times more for. And we'll no longer tolerate profiteering and price gouging from Big Pharma. But again, it was really the countries that forced Big Pharma to do things that, frankly, I'm not sure they really felt comfortable doing. But they've gotten away with it, these countries. European Union has been brutal. Brutal.
How do you know anything about this?
Tremble before bow!
So the way that I'm able to predict what's going to happen is that I don't think about it with a goal in mind. The reason why a lot of people make mistakes in being able to predict outcomes and be able to kind of work like ahead of things is that they think about it from the perspective of what they want to happen rather than what they think will happen. And that's the confirmation bias, right? And I don't think like that as much. And so that's the reason why I think that I'm accurate with a lot of these things more often. And also I think that I'm very good at understanding human behavior. How am I good at that? Because I've played online video games for 20 years.
I underestimated
I
you,
ran
Leon.
guilds for 15 years.
I am born anew.
I know how
There's still a
people
chance
think.
to stop them.
That's it. Autism mind, yes. And that's it. And again, people can call me stupid. They can say I don't know what I'm talking about. But at the end of the day, if you want to find out what's going to happen tomorrow, you should ask me. Because usually I'm right. I'm not always right, but I'm right a lot more than most other people are.
And the drug companies actually told me stories. It was just brutal how they forced them. European Union suing all our companies, Apple, Google, Meta.
So
They're
I'm tomorrow. I'm going to play Doom tomorrow.
suing all our companies. They end up, they have judges that are European
I am born anew.
Union-centric, and they get rewarded 15 billion, 17 billion, 20 billion, and they use it to run
Good time to stop them.
their operations. Not going to happen any longer, that I can tell you. This group behind me, I mean, I think it's the best group ever assembled in terms of Medicare. I think you're going to see a tremendous trend. I don't think. I know you're going to see it in Medicaid and Medicare. That trend will be massive because drugs are 50-60% of the cost. So Medicaid costs are going down and Medicare costs are going down because of what we're doing today. And there's no like, oh, well, maybe it won't happen. It's going to happen. The other countries have no choice. Now, the drug companies are going to have to say, listen, we don't want to give you the drug, and they're willing to do that. So that's
They
it.
should have named the pharma order after Luigi. The Mangione mandate.
A disappearance.
You have to admit, that would be fucking content.
It's now or never. Stop
Yeah,
them.
that would be fucking it. That would be cinema. Yes, it would be.
Better stop
They
that
have
vehicle.
to, they have
Sounds
to
great, yeah.
equalize.
This time I need
Say,
healing.
it's not price control. No, no. What was
Most healed.
price control is before? If you want to talk about it. Price control is what they were doing. They were making it as they set a price. And they said, here's what we're going to pay. And anything else, Judge, America. They said that was a very stupid precedent. And it really went And remember this, the Democrats are the ones that allowed this to happen.
Squids now.
They were the ones that were the protector
Octopus down.
of this
wonder.
pricing system. And I think it's going to be very hard. You have to ask Democrats, are they going to vote against
Cosmos
the
heals you.
one great, big, beautiful deal that's being negotiated now, tax cuts, etc. When now on top of the tax cuts, regulations, all the things, now you're going to say that the price of your medicine is going down by 60, 70, 80%. You're going to vote against it? I think a lot of Democrats are going to be forced to do
Destiny
something that
waits.
their leaders are going to beg them not to.
This is one of the things that I was hoping that Trump would always do. Because like I always like one of the things that I had always noticed is that Trump just wouldn't give a fuck about anything, and he would just do this stuff for whatever reason. Because I thought that like no Republican and no Democrat would have ever done this because they're just bought and paid for. And I think Trump is also probably to a certain degree bought and paid for.
I am ready to put on a show.
I don't trust any of the other ones to make it happen. I voted for this. Yeah, I mean, if I had known he was going to do this, I would have voted for him. I would have. Like, I 100%. This might be the orangest that I've seen him in my whole life.
We are in this together.
No, it's not.
What a relief.
I mean, this is in like maybe the top 10, but it's not. No, it's
I have
not.
found more lost souls.
Did you vote for Kamala? No.
They do, and let's vote for the bill. I don't see how they can
vote,
vote against it. How can they vote against it when drug prices, drugs and pharmaceuticals are going to be down 70, 80%? It's going to be very interesting.
Mr. President, what do you say people who use that luxury jet as a personal gift to you? Why not leave it
Your
behind?
ABC fake news.
Why not?
Only ABC. Well,
This location
few
seems
of you would.
dangerous.
Let me tell you, you should be embarrassed asking
Only
that
60
question.
seconds left.
They're giving us a free jet.
Dangerous.
I could say, no, don't give us, I want to pay you $1 million or $400 million or whatever it is. Well, I could say, thank you very much. You know, there was an old golfer named Sam Snead. Did you ever hear of him? He won 82 tournaments. He was a great golfer. And he had a motto, when they give you a putt,
This is the
you
one
say,
we
thank
saw
you very
earlier.
much. You
Yeah.
pick up your ball and you a lot of people are stupid. They say, no, I insist on putting it. Then
Yeah,
they
he
putt it.
did.
They miss
He
it.
said it. He said the
And the
word.
partner gets angry at him. You know what? Remember that, Sam Snead. When they give you a putt, you
have
pick it
risen.
up and you walk to the next hole and you say, thank you very much.
Respecting sir, as a businessman, some people may look at this and say, have you ever been given a gift worth millions of dollars and then not received
It's
anything?
not a gift to me, it's a gift to the Department of Defense.
With you.
And you should know better. Because you've been embarrassed enough, and so is your network. Your network is a disaster. ABC is a disaster. Here is the bill.
Let's keep playing until we have a winner.
Now you're talking about...
Oh, God.
Thank you very much.
Jesus Christ.
Still so much to do.
Come on up, Bobby. Let's go. Oh, wow. This just do you think he just makes himself orange for the memes? I think that he just does. Sometimes he'll do random shit. Oh, they had Dr. Oz up there talking. Oh, God. And, yeah. I think that... I don't know. ABC got roasted? Yeah, I guess so, right? He likes to be tan. It's not that hard. I guess so. The fencing with the Costa. No, I saw this, and honestly, I'm very happy about this. I'm massively happy about it. And
You'll
I
need
think
a
this is something
top-notch
that should have
team to
happened a
win
long
this one.
time ago. So this
will
is
bring
him
peace
talking
to this
about.
universe,
Wait, this
no
is he's
matter
talking
the
about
cost.
Ozempic.
I mean, I'll tell you a story. A friend of mine who's a businessman, very, very, very top guy. Most of you would have heard of him. A highly neurotic, brilliant businessman, seriously overweight, and he takes...
Schedule 1 beat the out of you. That's true. That's a fact. Well, this shit went crazy.
All right, Class of 25, I'm gonna start this
Hello.
course with a little disclaimer. Don't do drugs. So,
I'm simply a man who wishes to use his power for good.
It's too bad he
30
didn't say
seconds
that
before
in
you
French.
attack. Get ready.
sell them to everyone you see. In the business, we
Yeah.
like to say Rome wasn't built in a day, but it could have been if everyone was on coke.
That's
Sell me
recently
this.
true.
emerged from a
That's why you
regenerative
need my
cocoon.
course. Free list. You see a cop, you go, hey buddy, you like donuts? How about donut flavored cocaine?
That's
We're gonna
pretty
rent-
good.
But you know where you'll get sent? To a magical place brimming with potential customers. When you feel your heart burning, your chest tightening, that isn't your penance for eating that gas station burrito earlier. That's the Jeff Bezos inside of you calling to get out so he can hire undocumented Venezuelans for pennies on the dollar. Well,
Fuck yes, there it is. That's capitalism, boys.
The turret has been demolished.
correspondence course, somewhat proudly making you
Yeah.
okay drug lord since 1983. Some people like to say what we're teaching here at Side Hustlers Correspondence Course is bad, that we shouldn't do it because drugs are bad. Who says that? Bill Cosby? Pee-wee Herman? Nancy Reagan?
A load of drugs.
She didn't hit him out.
Slippery. Yeah, fuck that.
Just fuck out, you ask me. Who else?
Yeah.
Will Smith?
Yeah. I'm so good.
The CIA. I'm right. My name. Besides, what else should I be doing? Playing Ubisoft games? Their new shit's a black hole of soul. It'll siphon the soul out of your body through your controller. Schedule 1 was made by a single man named Tyler, and that man's soul is felt behind every Chinese shop owner that I turn into shit. You want to know how
Jesus Christ.
one man cooked Ubisoft? He let you put a horse's love llama on crack case.
Yeah, of course, because it's fucking funny. The thing is that all of these, like these new games and like everything, they're so sanitized and nobody wants that. Yeah, that's the Tim Wall special.
You want to know another
Exactly.
for how we cook Ubisoft? This is how I feel when I'm playing Schedule 1. This is what happens when you play AC Shadows. Hey, you! What do you think of Assassin's Creed Shadows? You want to be that guy shitting Side Hustlers Correspondence Course alumni. He runs the best cooking channel on the hunt. You're gonna love this guy.
Executioner!
Number 1, don't buy a host function block. They overcharge because their supply comes from champions. Your powers are in race and beauty pageants. They're the
This is what I did. Hey!
That 1 million to 1 hip dysplasia waddler that never pays off until he pays off big. But for me, he always pays off big. You see this shelf? This all came from a horse that placed 27 out of 27 in 2009's Kentucky Derby. Can't wear this under your hat, but I've got a sweatshop
Holy shit!
of gunk from a horse that does Civil War reenactments, and he gets real method with it too. I mean,
That's
I can't
a
tell
lot.
you which side he fights for. But
That's a warehouse.
let's just say he does not like rap music, except Kanye. I didn't even fucking know any of that. Now let's get into the first module of the Side Hustlers Correspondence Course, Production. Have you ever played Cooking Mama? You're ready to succeed in drug making?
This shit was hard.
Because all this is Cooking Mama for crackheads. Remember,
Yeah.
chicken deep frying, same thing here.
Except crack.
Mix it, boil it, bake it, smash it into rocks, then mix it in a little Viagra so all your
I always thought selling meth was a huge waste in this game. I think you go immediately to cocaine.
Stay on, motherfucker.
Yeah, meth, bro, like,
before church, so
bro,
God
meth
knows
fell
that.
off.
Cutting your drugs is the X factor of this game. It's what separates crack from the cocaine. But we ain't cutting our product with fed. We're respectable entrepreneurs. We're cutting our product with whatever the hell we find on the shelf at our local 7-Eleven. You start with donuts, then you level up in the CIA database to unlock everything from dick pills to gasoline to a horse's love lotion.
That's
You cut
right.
The product gets a new effect.
Ice cream
Now you can
Thunderfuck?
charge for it. Some of these effects include.
He should just, dude, they should just use this as a commercial for the game. Like this is the kind of shit that plays on like Adult Swim at 3:30 in the morning when everybody's asleep. And you're like halfway, you're like, is this a show or is this a commercial?
And your skin green, turning you into a woman, Tropic Thundering, or Trudeauing it. You're a Canuck. And if you want to use your customers for 3
You can make
days,
them black?
But the real fun part is making
when can you make 'em black?
recipe that combines all these effects together. And that's what it's all about. Money. It's about inflicting so much shit on your customers that when you see them on the street pimping that Trudeau.
Yes, that's right.
Pretend this game is evil genius, and if you don't know what that game is, pretend you do. Only one effect is good, but 8 effects and your customers will be so gacked out of their minds that they'll feel like they're committing identity fraud
Oh my god.
on themselves. Once Scooby gets these snacks, he'll be solving the mystery of the
Jesus.
afterlife. Now, most people cut their drugs with complete obedience to the bag. They just want to charge the most,
Yep, that's
pass
what I
it
do.
off to the dealers, sit
That's
back
exactly
on
what I
the
do.
shitter singing show tunes and get tugged off by tie hookers. Me,
That's right.
whenever I make a new strain, I try to tap into what Michelangelo was thinking when he was painting the Sistine Chapel.
What
I try
was
to
that?
evoke music and listen to their song.
Judge, executioner!
Shitting themselves while convulsing while eating a ginger.
Is that doing to him?
That joint to your uncle. Now he can't drive anymore.
I was alive!
My yayo man like Hemingway.
I gotta use that.
Lovin', I'll turn you into McLizzo. Enjoy story.
Oh, shit.
It's party time!
Wait, what?
If you look like McLovin, I'll turn you into McLizzo. Enjoy.
Against the world!
All right.
That's
right.
The money comes, the money goes.
Perfect.
Like hiring a chip to spit on my weed so I can apply for 1,000 years. Maybe it's going
Oh, shit.
Tip number 3. Addicts will come up to you with a street asking for product. If you
Yeah.
don't have anything, they're gonna
mad.
stab you. So always have a wicked bag of witch weed on you.
That-
If you
yeah,
come
I
up
already
to
said
me
that.
straight threatening me for product, I'm gonna give you some shit that'll
Yep.
make the disc fly off with a magic
$48? Bro, why is he selling it so cheap?
At least give you a taste of Teddy K's Baja
Oh.
Blast, named after the second most famous delivery man behind Santa
He died.
Claus. Let's cut the commercial break while I start some of this shit up. Let's talk deal, mate. Hello,
Vehicle reached the checkpoint. Keep up the momentum.
What is this picture? We're safe now. Quantum magic.
Oh my god.
like legal matters, liar and fraud. What's with all these chapters going spam and boom? What's happening? Tag me info. No one sells crack like Plump does. I sell the best crack when I negotiate my crack deals. Even the DEA goes, wow, this day, Herbie. Sell crack, he really can. All right, hang up the phone, minion band. We're not cheering out. You have the product, the hardcore, because making deals comes down to one basic rule.
Oh, that stupid bitch Peggy. I remember her. She was so annoying.
Them, and if they don't agree, you shoot them
them
just
in the
one
face.
time,
Yeah.
all right? Because, and I want you to remember this, 1 time's prank, 2 times is rebellion. Pimp, I need you to channel Nintendo here. Remember Venezuelan Paco? Remember how he's no longer with us? Now, you may think this is a horrible way to conduct business.
Holy shit.
Right. I barely make anything. He's going to the casino, earning the slot machines up to 100.
Your powers are mine!
Where you just go back and forth spamming every single one?
Quantum magic.
No.
No.
We are in this
There goes
together.
100 and then hammering all of them until I make 30 grand. It's a foolproof plan. I never lose. The game is glitched. Fucking idiot. Update. In the lawsuit credentials, casting nerds, slot machines. Now I have nothing. I'm back to
What?
selling my passed out customers
It nerfed?
money. That chick just upped my net worth $1. It's like they say. I'm
Turn people into recycling for $2? I didn't know that.
Born again!
Once you have a mountain of product and your deals are all made, it's time to hop into a snowmobile and deliver some yayo, man. Some people have a big issue with the police stopping them for their entrepreneurship. I know. Delivering drugs
I've never been caught by the police in this game, not even once. Never.
not doing them all before you get there. You know, some people ask me, Blake, how do you get past all these police barricades? So I tell them, why don't you just get a friend to phase through the barricade for you? They tell me, Fleek, I don't have friends. Do you have a gun? A 1911? Really? Do you know how many bullets are in a 1911?
Can you-
7. There are 7 bullets
Couldn't
in a
you
1911.
just kill all the cops in the city and that way everything's fine? I feel like that'd be a good idea. Just shoot 'em
So
all.
that means you have 7 things you should try
Yeah.
before asking me such a stupid goddamn question. Hey,
I do it
use
at-
that
oh, they
one at least
respawn-
once a
oh,
week
do
to get
they?
out of a
They
speeding
respawn?
ticket. I say, bam, go make
That's
sure no
so
one's speeding
dumb.
on the highway to hell, you fuck. You know what?
Why
I'm
would
already
they
here. How about another
respawn?
Fleekle tip for the audience at home. This one's for the kids. The kids are gonna love this one. Don't give your dealers product with the explosive effect because you won't be able to go anywhere without getting bam. I go to the motel, bam. I go to a 7-Eleven, bam.
Bro, bitch.
Which hero do you think you want to be today?
Be wary. No timeline exists where Magneto yields.
Now, who am I gonna banish from this match?
President Trump has accepted this luxury 747 from Qatar for use as Air Force One. He got this beast for the U.S. for free, and the Democrats are complaining. Bro, I'm telling you, like, we are going to be entering into an era. I heard it's fake to get us into war with Iran. I don't think that's it at all. Did Israel give Trump a jet? Or did Qatar give Trump a jet? I mean, you know, who's really our boys, right? MAGA. We give Israel billions, Asmon? Yeah, exactly. So why is it that we're giving them all this money and they've never get... How many jets has Israel given us?
Pick your hero. Or villain.
How many?
I'm not judging.
Because as far as I know, the answer to that is 0. 2, technically? That's not enough. So this is the new jet they made for him? All right. It's big? Yeah, it is. Is there any talking here? It's literally just nothing. Okay, this is the jet right here. And so this is they asked him a question about this right here. So the fact that the Department of Defense is getting a gift free of charge of a 747 aircraft to replace the 40-year-old Air Force One temporarily in a very public and transparent transaction so bothers the crooked Democrats that we insist that we pay top dollar for the plane. Anybody can do that. The Democrats are world-class losers. And so anyway, yeah, crazy things are happening in the Middle East right now.
President, what do you say to people who use that luxury jet as a personal gift to you? Why not leave it
You're
behind?
ABC Fake News, right?
Why not?
Only
ABC. Capture the
will.
mission area.
A few of you will.
Got it?
Let me tell you,
Y'all a
you
bunch
should
of
be embarrassed to ask him that
I can
question.
do this myself.
They're giving us a
jeez.
free jet. I could say, no, don't give us, I want to pay you $1 billion or 400 million or whatever it is. Or I could say, thank you very much.
Yeah.
You know, there's an old golfer named Sam Snead. Did you ever hear him? He won 82 tournaments, was a great golfer. And he had a motto, when they give you a putt, you say, thank you very much, you pick up your ball and you walk to the next hole. A lot of people are stupid. They say, no, it's just start putting it. Then they putt it, then they say,
Another golf. Bro, how much golf does this guy play? He makes more golf analogies than I make WoW analogies. This is insane. Yeah, it's a great... Let me listen to this again.
well, I just say, thank you very much. You know, there was an old golfer named Sam Snead. Did you ever hear him? He won 82 tournaments. He was a great golfer. And he had a motto, when they give you a putt, you say, thank you very much, you pick up your ball and you walk to the next hole. A lot of people are stupid. They say, no, I insist on putting it. Then they putt it, then they say, and their partner gets angry at them. You know what? Remember that Sam Snead, when they give you a putt, you pick it up and you walk to the next hole and you say, thank you very much.
Yeah. It's never been given gifts worth millions of dollars and not received.
It's not a gift to me, it's a gift to the Department of Defense. And you should know that, because you can embarrass them off, and so has your network. Your network is a disaster. ABC is a disaster.
Oh, shit, bro. Like, and the thing is that, as far as we know, like, I mean, I feel like if we're keeping score, it sure seems like Israel has roached out on us more than Saudi Arabia and Qatar have. Like, that's really at Muslim. Bro, come on. Come on, besides that, right? Come on, you can't bring that one up. That was a long time ago, man. That was some other guy. Guy was an asshole. Anyway, don't worry about him. Armed and anyway, Saudi, yeah, being for those times, yeah, definitely. And he's out there keeping everyone down on the line. Yeah, I guess so. And oh my fucking god. And wow, Qatari Defense Minister posted and deleted message in support of Hamas. Yeah, he deleted it and doubled down on accepting it. Oh, here we go. Him talking about the jet.
I think Qatar will has really we've helped them a lot over the
Captured more than
years
half
in
of the
terms of
mission area.
security and
Keep
safety.
going.
I think they and very, very nicely, and I have a lot
Do you remember what I said before a few days ago about how I thought that Trump and Qatar and Saudi Arabia and maybe Egypt and maybe one or two other ones are just planning on dividing up Palestine and just doing whatever the fuck they want with it, and then letting Israel just kind of fucking whatever happens happen. Jordan, yeah. I mean, these are the kinds of things that you do for somebody after you make a deal like that, right?
I'll patch you up.
Like, I mean, it is. It seems like the kind of stuff that you do for people after you make a deal like that. Yeah, that's interesting. That will not happen? Okay. It's a conspiracy theory, okay? This is my conspiracy theory.
And I think they knew about it because they buy Boeing. They buy a lot of Boeing. And they knew about it. And they said we would like to do something. And if we can get a 747 as a contribution to our Defense Department to use during a couple of years while they're building the other ones, I think that was a very nice gesture. Now, I could be a stupid person and say, oh no, we don't want a free plane. We give free things right here. And it helps the firm.
Yeah.
Because again, we're talking about, we have 40-year-old aircraft. The money we spend, the maintenance we spend on those planes, is astronomical. You wouldn't believe it. So I think it's a great gesture from Qatar. I appreciate it.
Man.
I would never be one to turn down.
I remember I had a friend in Qatar, and we played BDO together, and he was like 17, and he was talking to us, because like we'd all be in like Discord together, or like it's like TeamSpeak or some shit. He was like 17, and he'd be talking about like how all of his friends, like if he was gonna get like a Maserati, or if he was gonna get a Lamborghini, and like, you know, how like a lot of his friends don't like Ferraris anymore. Like, bro, this guy's living on a private server. He is. Insane. Yeah, tough life decisions. Exactly.
Made it a reality.
That kind of an offer. I mean, I could be a stupid person, say, no, we don't want a free, very expensive airplane.
Swipers,
But it was, I thought it was a great gesture. And I think it was a gesture because of the fact that we have helped and continue to, we will continue to, all of those countries, Saudi Arabia.
$10, the plane's bugged. I mean, wouldn't they be able to figure that out? I mean, obviously they're going to investigate it, right? I mean, it's common sense.
UAE, Qatar, and others.
Here's the way I see it, is that like if they bugged the plane and we can't figure out how they bugged it, I feel like they're doing us a favor.
Got it?
Because now we know that the people that are in our intelligence agency are in fact retarded. Yeah, it's kind of like, think of it as like an audit.
We keep them safe. All these girls are probably wouldn't exist right now. This is just a gesture of good faith.
It ain't Boeing? Yeah, let's trust Boeing's planes instead.
I don't get it. Someday it will be like Ronald Reagan. They decommission them. They decommission them. It'll go to my library. They're talking about going to my libraries in years out. But I thought it was a great gesture.
The mystic
The Trump library, when you go in it, there's not going to be any books in the library. Yeah, there won't be any books in it. Yeah, it'll be like maybe Trump Bibles, and that'll be it. And yeah, it'll be like golf clubs and like, you know, Playboy magazines, there's a few things like that. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, hats that you can buy. And so yeah, I guess that's the way it is, right? And Epstein files too. Yeah, I guess so, right? I mean, I don't know when that's gonna happen, but yeah. And so maybe we shouldn't accept anything from Qatar. Qatar told Hamas to keep Israeli hostages. That sounds like a personal problem between Qatar and Israel. Like, I mean, I'm sorry.
Behold the god of thunder!
Oh, we're even talking about this more.
They're right behind you.
No, I'm not happy with Boeing. It takes them a long time to do, you know, Air Force One to do they started to have a long time ago. It's a fixed price contract. I'm not happy with the fact that it's taking so long. And we may do something else. We may go and buy a plane or get a plane, something, but I'm not happy with the fact that it's taking so long. There's no excuse for it. And you know they had a fixed price contract. I made that deal. Now they're losing about.
I don't know who this guy is, but he's just there. Yeah, bro, he's always there.
The money, I'd like to see if they can get up the price. But
yeah.
All right, I got your thing right here. All fucked up. So here's the battery. He's going to get the fucking battery for this garage door opener fix.
It's a massive piece of shit. Huge piece of fucking shit. We had to go buy a new one of these, and it said we needed the Model B. And guess what? There were all over Amazon. Models A and C. And so, yeah, that's pretty much where we're at. So you're gonna go up and
By the eye of Agamotto!
Yeah. Bipartisan backlash over the gift continues to grow. Now, who is being referenced here? Literally nobody is being referenced. There's nobody saying this is a problem. No one is saying MAGA. Oh, wait a second. No, there's MAGA influencer Laura Loomer expressed her displeasure on X.
Behold, that child!
Oh my God, Vinci Hero is not happy about it. Let me see if I can find that real quick, and I'll pull it up and see if there's anything else really going on with this. But where's the rest of this shit? Extraordinary day. Yeah, there it is. Let me see if I can find the rest of this here. And Trump forgets to sign the executive order.
there's never been anything like it. It's a very exciting
Did he forget?
time in America. Thank you very much, everybody.
Armed and dangerous!
Us against the world!
You'll have to keep fighting until we have a winner.
Totally fucking forgot. Yeah, oh my bad. Oh yeah. Yeah, Bernie already is crashing out about the executive order. Why? Why? I thought he would be happy about this. I would assume so. Let me see if I can locate Trump's jet. This is gonna be good. Let me see if I can find any more of these. Luxury jet. It's likely the most blatant example of bribery that will be transferred for his personal use. So has anybody said that it's going to be transferred? Trump to accept a luxury 747 to use as Air Force One. Okay, so this is a
Once more.
so where he did? Yeah, I don't know. It has been said. He just said it wasn't. Well, I'm not sure if that's even true. Will be transferred to the United States Air Force.
They've almost got it.
Where did they say he was keeping the jet? Like, cause I didn't hear that anywhere. But he said that, yeah, the personal use is from Air Force One, not after his presidency. Yeah, it's fake news. They didn't just make this up. Qatar just gave Trump a jet. Will he keep the jet for his personal use? Or has he said anything about keeping it beyond his presidency?
By the eye of Agamotto!
Okay, let's see. We're gonna find out right now. That multiple sources indicate that after his term ends, the jet will be transferred to the Trump Presidential Library Foundation, potentially allowing it to use it personally. Trump has defended the argument a gift free of charge. So this is the Presidential Library Foundation. So he could use it personally. Let me see here. Is a gift free of charge to U.S. government? But he hasn't explicitly stated whether he intends to use it for personal purposes post-presidency. Oh, okay, so he hasn't said this. Okay, there it is. It's unlikely. So yeah, I take it as a maybe. Yeah, other presidents have done that. Yeah, it's for a museum. Okay, there we go. CBS has a clip of it on YouTube. I'd have to go and find it myself. Because, like, I'll tell you this, right? I don't think he should be taking a gift from Qatar if he's keeping it past the presidency, okay? Like, if he's taking it and it's for the government, that's fine. If he's keeping it for himself, that's retarded. Like, I mean, am I
30
crazy?
seconds
I
before
think
you
that's
attack.
so obvious.
Get ready.
It's a party point. Yeah, duh. Fucking duh.
Even the astral realms are torn apart by the time stream entanglement.
Who better to put them back together than you and me?
I like your
$3 billion
optimism.
in funding for Harvard because they ain't playing ball and dropping their DEI nonsense. Harvard says, no. This is a political stunt,
battle
and
starts
we're
in
not going to let you
5,
dictate
4,
what we can or cannot
3,
do and say and
2,
teach at our
1.
university. But here's where it gets interesting,
All
my
you need
friends.
to do is capture the mission area.
Quick things.
Got it?
So Trump is freezing their money, which, in my opinion, by the way, is a great thing.
The Trump administration tonight firing back at Harvard University after the school basically set up a showdown with the Trump administration, rejecting some of the White House's demands on health policies. A White House spokesperson saying in part President Trump wants to end unchecked anti-Semitism and that Harvard's response could put its federal funding at risk. But Harvard's president says the university will not surrender its independence and that neither Harvard nor any other private university can allow itself to be taken over by the federal government.
Yeah, you can. There are a lot of
Help, bro. Magic on the back line, man. Come on.
because Harvard is in the United States. You don't make the rules. The government makes the rules, and you follow the rules, and you can maybe do a few things. This isn't like the bad. I don't think so.
The Trump administration has something like 10 demands for Harvard, including the elimination of DEI programs and the restriction of
If they will not just go down and like completely do this, I think he should come at them with the entire justice system and sue them massively for civil rights violations.
Successful operation.
Absolutely fucking stupid. It's outrageous. Fuck, yeah, this is make an example out of them. Exactly, yeah. And also, the thing is that at the end of the day, it's racism. It is. It's a private school. What? It doesn't matter. If you're a private school and you're exercising racist opinions, and you're doing this inside, like all private schools are still open to public. They're receiving funding. It's like a business, for example. So a business can't tell people that, oh, there's no black people allowed in this business. That's not the way that it works. We decided, and by the way, it took like, I mean, Bernie Sanders was there. They can though. No, they can't. They can. That's literally that. We had a whole fucking problem with this. A lot of us weren't even alive then, right? I wasn't even alive then. This whole thing, this is all done. Like this has been settled for fucking years.
By the eye of Agamotto.
Acceptance of international students who are, and I'm quoting here, hostile to American values and institutions. Stephanie Gox is joining us now. Couldn't think of a
I think that I can push back a little bit on the hostile to American values thing. I don't think that Harvard needs to be required to operate as an arm of the Homeland Security branch of the government. I think that's unreasonable.
You couldn't think of a perhaps bigger name in the world of college universities to go basically head-to-head with the Trump administration on some of these controversial changes that the White House wants. What happens next year?
Well, it's interesting, Holly. First of all, it's worth pointing out that Harvard receives $9 billion of federal funding from the government. And so that's
it's such a weird hill to die on. If it's not based on income, DEI is really not required for anything. I am a huge supporter of DEI.
The Sorcerer Supreme.
And I actually think that they should get rid of legacy applications as well. Because I think that legacy applications are fundamentally, pretty much the same.
Control lost.
I think those are awful, and I think any organization that does any DEI initiative or any legacy applications, I think they should lose all funding. It's disgusting. Yeah, just period. Like I don't want a single dollar of my tax money going to them. I don't want to fund. I don't want to fund a. Because also keep in mind, legacy applications. Let's be real, guys. 60, 70 years ago.
Your powers are
straight up. They didn't. We all know that. So legacy, it's almost like you're trying to like grandfather in some sort of racial preference. It's fucking nepotism. Yeah. Fuck that, man. So a legacy. Oh, some people don't know this. A legacy application is when a preference treatment inside of a university because a family member went to the university. So it's like your dad went to this university. Okay, your chances of you getting in are higher now. But the problem is, if your dad and your grandfather got into it, well, they got into it in a world where we did have racial discrimination. It was real. And again, that's the kind of stuff that makes people racist. And also it makes them right. Because it is fucked up. It's classism. It is. It's and also keep in mind, guys, it's very important to keep this in mind. Almost all race issues can be solved by addressing class issues. Not all, but almost all. I'm a huge supporter of DEI for income. Just not for race.
That's a real hammer that the government has, and can hold that above Harvard University, try to get them to make some of these changes. This letter that Harvard received on Friday night is really long, and it has a lot of very specific things that they are calling on the university to do to get this funding. Among them are things like hiring an independent third party to determine whether there's anti-Semitism on campus and in the curriculum. Also to make sure that there's diversity of opinion on campus. And you've heard a bunch of White House officials, including the vice president himself, talking about.
It's always hard for me to talk about this stuff because, like, I actually kind of disagree with a little bit of this. Like, especially with, like, enforcing diversity of opinion. Like, because I feel like enforcing diversity of opinion is compelled speech indirectly. Is that crazy for me to say? I think that's overreach. So, like, I'm half on this, I'm half off of it. Am I crazy for saying that? I'm half in, half off?
How there is a throughout our universities a kind of sickness where there is no diversity of opinion, and this is clearly part of an effort.
I mean, the people have been saying this for as long as I've been alive, and I do think that part of this is institutionalized.
To change the way universities operate, and they're holding this funding, which is really how research is done at universities, in large part because of this funding. They are holding that over the heads of schools and universities around the country.
Harvard is a wealthy school. They just are, right? How much of an impact is this going to have on them? Let's say they were to use that federal funding. To your point, Steph, in the world of carrots and sticks, I mean, that's a big one. How much of an impact could this actually have?
Well, really big. I mean, $9 billion is a lot of money. The school very clearly relies on it. And yes, they are an incredibly wealthy school. But if that is removed, that will change how research is done on campus.
Absolutely.
But interestingly, Harvard taking a stand in a very public way, and not just about itself, also saying that universities and schools around the country should follow their lead. They are calling this a violation of their First Amendment rights. Hallie.
It's not your First Amendment right to racially discriminate in hiring people. This is ridiculous. It's insane. What? What? How can somebody even say this? It's unreal. You're at it being overreach, but that's what happens when there's already so much rot corroding the system. Yeah, I understand that too. And they should ban them from operating until they change. I don't think he can do that, but if he could, I would support him doing that. I think that you need to take as brutal